So one of our councillors came out with this, and everybody's very upset, and Kevin, so rightly so too, because it just goes to show you that some of these councillors live on a different planet than us. And I would suggest to Councillor Campbell Fine Gael, that she go in with the Anglo-South, Northern Sound and the local media, and goes into Eason's, buys all the stuff, that even though she's not buying it for her children, but takes it out of her own pocket, and buys all the stuff for herself, and then go up to Singer Sew Machine, the top of Cavan there, and buy a uniform, buy clothes, buy shoes. She end up with a bill of €500, and that will take her nonsense away very quickly when she goes in and does it. Because in Calma Brady's mind, she's listening to Simon Howe, she's looking at the GDP. She's saying everybody's very rich, has loads of money lying about. But that's okay for the people coming into the country on a whim, getting free houses, etc. But for Irish people, only Irish people, they have to pay the bill. There's no such thing as free this, free that, free the other. There's no free stuff when you're Irish. There's free stuff when you're not Irish, but if you're Irish, you don't get things free. Of course, I do, say about the school book scheme, she's right in that. That does exist nowadays, but it took long time for getting it. Because when I was at school a few years ago, secondary school, there was no such thing as it. So, and we're only starting this now. We should have been doing this 30 years ago. And the same with the school me is, she's saying about, how great it is. Finland's doing this since the 1960s, the 1950s. Why are we only doing this now? You get what I'm saying? Why did it take this long? If Fine Gael's so great and Fianna Fáil, why did it take this long? That's what I'm trying to say. It should have been done hundreds of years ago at this stage. But yeah, she's saying you can send your child to school for less than €50. Like, what kind of world do you live on? Because nobody. Like, I looked at all the comments under this post. Nobody agrees with it. And let known, a lot of parents, it showed recently, that a lot of parents have to borrow money to pay for the children to go back to school. Because buying a shirt, buying a top, buying shoes, even the shoes I went to school, secondary school in, were nearly €70 for a good pair that would last you all year. It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. Then buying your pens and pencils, your insurance you had to buy for your school, and different bits and bobs. You're talking about, good God, 500, 600. And then if you have a few children, good God, it'd be 1,000 or over 1,000. And obviously, Calma Brady lives in delusion. That's to be totally honest, in the most fairest way, it lives in delusion. And I do recommend Calma Brady go and do that. And I do recommend the Anglo-South and the Northern Sound. Ask her, would she go in and spend her own money? And the papers will go around with video cameras, and OT come down too. And we see her face when the person behind the counter says that'd be €500 for all the clothes and all that. And then going down to Easton's and stuff, you take the smile straight off her face if they've done that. But they won't do that. The media in this county won't do it. But they should do it. They really, really should. That's the only way to kind of show them up. Because it's not a reality. Like, if you go onto the ground, it's not reality. And there is a lot of people struggling. Like, there's a lot of families struggling. Even when I was at school, they were struggling. There was people who didn't have stuff for school. Didn't have uniforms, jackets. Nowadays, you need special jackets for schools. In my school, Breffney College out there in Cavan and St. Pat's and other parts. Which is ridiculous in my opinion, but it's a lot. It's a lot of money. It is really, really a lot of money, and I think it's offensive to people who are less fortunate, people who don't have the money. Irish citizens that's working hard, working a 9 to 5. Calma Brady's on an 80,000 salary plus expenses, allowances. She doesn't have to worry a day about money. There's money there for. But I'm saying the majority of parents have to work a 9 to 5, go out and work hard to pay Calma Brady's salary. And, this is because again, to be totally honest, this is just throwing shit in their face, excuse my language, but that's what it is. Talking pretty much shit to them. Because parents know themselves when they go into the shop how much it is. The same with the cost of living. Fine Gael is in government. I haven't seen them do one hate to help anybody. They've increased the price for a total level of students, Irish students, just to say. Ukrainians and stuff are okay and they get free education. But Irish students have to pay more, €3,000 more. Explain that one to me, Calma Brady. Because you're saying that the cost of living, people can afford it and all that shite. Why is Fine Gael making young Irish people, young teenagers, pay €3,000 extra? Could you try and explain that one to me, please, if you could? But yeah, just looking at this, everybody's not happy. This is you be going around looking for votes at them, Calma Brady. And it's not good, and it might be a bit harsh, but they have to be harsh because it's utterly ridiculous that you would suggest that less than €50 you go back to school. It's utterly ridiculous. I wouldn't mind if you were saying, look at €100, €200 maybe, but it's ridiculous. And especially because, again, all these people don't agree with you. The general public don't agree with you. But you can see here, nobody really is happy about it. Not forgetting school contributions too. That's another thing too. She's forgetting about that too. School traps, yeah, as we're saying, but school traps are top 1833. Yeah, like it goes on and on. Like it's not cheap, it's not free. More money, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Have more money, but look at the list, like of stuff. It keeps going on and on and on. I think she's just living with delusion a bit. But it's utterly ridiculous. And the Anglo-South and the media in Cavan are not doing enough. You think they'd be banging around our door to find out what's the story here, or bringing her into Easton, so bringing her into Singer Sewing Machine to get her uniforms. Because that's the only way they really show up, and you think the Anglo-South would do that because it will make a good story. But it is ridiculous, and again, of course, she's entitled to her opinion. But I'm just saying, if she went and done it, she wouldn't get less than €50. I'm sure she knows it too. She wouldn't get it for less than €50. It's all a load of codswallop. It really is. It really is a lot of codswallop. Because regardless, like the free books and stuff, like school books, that's all well and good. But it's the other stuff too. There's other stuff along with it that she doesn't mention at all. But yeah, let me know what you think, because it is just kind of Fine Gael's arrogance, to be totally honest. But of course, if this was she must be talking to people not from this country, but of course, they'd be the way I looked after. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more. Bye.